Henshin to go, baby. What's good, guys? Yoku here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the perfect team. I don't know if it's perfect, but S-Anby's best team, her new best team. Now that we officially have Trigger in the game, this makes things so much better. Trigger is, for those that don't know, or you might be new to the game, Trigger is going to be our first off-field stunner. What this brings to the table is what you'll see in the video here, the ability to have a DPS character stay on the field at all times. Now, if you're familiar with some of the other games, you can kind of compare this to Hyper Carry, but if I were comparing this to Hyper Carry, I would say that this is more so a true sense of the word Hyper Carry. I am funneling everything into one pivotal point, which is going to be Soldier Anby, and she predominantly stays on the field the entire time. This is what I like to do when it comes to playing Hyper Carry, or rather, this is what you like to do when it comes to playing Hyper Carry. But just like we discovered with S-Anby whenever she was here the last 3 weeks, there are some nitpicks. Yeah, nitpick is the word. A little bit of nitpick, some tidbits, if you will, about the character that you may want to pay attention to. Those things being when to dodge, how to dodge, breaking up your combos, using EX heal or holding on to EX heal, holding ult when you don't need to use it, or burning everything during the stun window. Whatever the case may be, there are some proper things to do in and outside of the team play. And that's what I'm showing you guys today. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Anyway, you're here for the best team to play with Asher and how to do it. This team is cracked. This team is stupid, all right? And when I say stupid, I mean like good stupid, but it's still dumb. And so I'm gonna do my best to optimize what I'm doing here so that you guys are able to go along with whatever it is that I'm doing, and I'll walk you through it while I'm talking about it. Not the best at playing and talking at the same time, so if I get quiet, that's why. But outside of that, the entire game plan that goes behind this team is literally just bum rush the opponent, but be mindful of what you're doing and what buttons you're pressing. Why? Because even though we had the fix with Anby, we have more opportunities to break apart our combo in order to get a dodge out of the way, because that's what she wants to do. But you'll still get hit. Okay, I just want to keep it above with you guys. If you dodge at the wrong time, she's not Ellen, she's not Nikomata, she doesn't have, or even Miyabi, right? Where these characters have these crazy good backdashes. Anby's backdash is pretty standard, to be fair, and she only gets 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, in a row before it has a cooldown on it. So anyway, as we're going into battle, normally what I would do is I would use Astra, but what I came to discover is that if you actually go into Trigger for just a little bit, go back into Astra, right? This helps you get a little bit of the energy from Trigger on the field, so that whenever you do something, you can get a stun and he's dead, right? I was gonna get the stun, but I didn't get it. It's fine. Now we go back out into baby girl right here, and you pretty much just start it. He's gonna do it again. So you do right 2 back dashes right there, guys. Remember that. That first time he does that, he's gonna do 2 back dashes, which is pretty fine for the most part. I'm only worried about the dodge for the most part until I get hit, right? You saw that I got hit right there. So I get out of the way and I go right back into Trigger. If I were better at doing that, I would have been able to essentially get it for free, but that's not what happened there. And I'm doing it again. Oh my God. Redo. I got to give you guys the best run possible. You know what I mean? Or at least my best run possible. But technically, I already have the best run that I could have given you guys. I just don't have it. You know what I mean? Because I have no idea if my audio was messed up, but we're fine now. Oh, that was clean. Did you guys see how quickly I just deleted my boy? That was insane. Nice. Super nice. All right. Super nice right there. We go right back into Anby. That way I get that parry off. Didn't really need it. And I get the dodge counter. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. What are they talking about? Give me another one. Give me another one. Yes. Boom, boom, boom. You see the impairs. You see the impairs. Okay. I'm going to wait for the super. There it is right there. Boom. Just like that. EX skill, save baby girl, and look, I avoided his entire attack. Do you see that? 1, 2, 3. It's coming again, and he's about to get stunned here pretty quickly. So there's 2 things we could do. We could pretty much set him up. 2, 3. I want to get it with, there we go. I wanted it with Astra right there, and now I delete the entire game. I delete him from the entire existence, right? He's a goner. We get this for free. We do it again. We get this for free. We do it again. And that's GG's. Just like that, I've taught you how to play the team. I'm telling you, it is just bum rush the entire opponent. Whatever enemy you're fighting, learn the enemy patterns, and then bum rush it. 338. What did we start with? I think I started with like 235. A little bit over a minute, a little bit over 60 seconds, guys. Now let me show you. By the way, shout outs to Nine. They let me borrow their account, which was super awesome of them to do, because my trigger, we got some crazy pulls, which I don't have enough footage to show you the pulls. It just kind of happened. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I eventually will turn it into a YouTube short, hopefully this time, sometime this week, and you'll see it. But it is what it is. Just know that these were the luckiest pulls I've ever had in Zenless Zone Zero, and I'm thankful for that. Let me show you guys the team so you understand a little bit more about why this team may have performed close to 60 seconds, but not exactly under 60 seconds. And there's a couple of different factors that may apply to this, but for what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to show you guys, especially coming from a more free-to-play standpoint, if you will, it doesn't really matter, right? Being able to shave anywhere near a minute in your time, your clears for Shiyu defense is huge. Just like I say in Star Rail, you don't need a zero cycle. It's just really like, it's flex points at the end of the day. As long as you can get your S rank, I'm pretty sure you're chilling. F ranked all the way through with Astra. Baby girl's in her new outfit as well, and she's got the exact skills that she wants, 11 and 8 or 11 and 11 if you want to do it that way. And then equipment, 4-piece Astral, 2-piece Swing Jazz. Pay attention to the W engine. Not running the SIG. They don't have it, right? 9 doesn't have it. We move on from this and we go into S-Anby, and I'll do it in reverse. S-Anby's running a 2-piece, right? 2-2-2. Woodpecker for the crit, 2-piece on the branching blade for the crit damage, and then 2-piece Astral Chain to help with a little bit more attack, as well as her signature W engine. Gotta have that. Are we, hold on. 9? 9 has the ability. 9 has the ability to get M2 S-Anby. You're disgusting, 9. I'm telling you, Rihu just told me about it. This team, when you activate M2, 9, you are going to have so much fun. You're never going to play anything else in the game ever again, but you're going to have so much fun. It's cracked. Anyway, effed out, right? And then we have 12, 11. Oh, he crowned. I haven't said crown in a long time, bro. Guys, completely off topic. Recently, literally this week, started a project in my Discord, and we restarted Genshin Impact. I'm having a little bit of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's nice to reminisce about the old days, but everything is where it needs to be. 65% crit rate, gonna get to 100% once we go into battle. And then we have crit damage 214, attack 3251. Crazy good stuff. Then we go over to trigger, which is the final piece of the puzzle. 92.2% crit rate, exactly what you need to get the maximum benefit on the days. Impacts at 162, crit damage is at 123 with S-Anby on the team, right? She's going to increase that crit damage done. I think it's by 80%, but don't quote me on that. What is it? Oh, an extra 30%. There we go. 30% and then 25% when they have the silver mark. So this is going to help out Trigger a lot, basically bumping Trigger up closer to the 200% crit damage ratio with almost guaranteed 100% crit rate. You guys saw how quickly she was attacking. This is really good for this character. Skills 7, 7, 8. I'm not even maxed out, right? And then F, I don't even have her maximum stun damage multiplier yet. This is pretty good too. And then equipment 222, again, 2-piece shock star, 2-piece branson blade, and then 2-piece woodpecker in order to get all those maximized stats with a level 50 out of 60 W engine. Why am I showing you guys this? So you understand how cracked out this team can be. Getting near sub 60 seconds in Shiyu 7, which is the one that has the most HP right now, is pretty big. The next thing that I want to do is take you guys to Deadly Assault. There was one more boss that I wanted to fight to get a full understanding of the team so that you guys had a little bit more variation in what you're fighting against. There he is right there, UCC. As of right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this versus UCC, which is going to start off with Astra. We're going to go right into baby girl S-Anby's at the top. And then Trigger is right beneath the both of them. Excuse me, the both of them. Elect Boo, and then we're going straight forward, all right? This one should be pretty much the same way. My goal isn't to get like a 65K, although I know I can if I'm running something like M2 S-Anby, and you can probably get away with it with this team as well, but maybe you don't need it, right? So he's super far away. There's no reason for me to even bother, you know, doing anything else right now. Holy fork, wait a minute. Okay, I forgot he does that. Let's not do that. Now, one of the cool things about Trigger is that she has an auto dodge. We are going to abuse that at the start of the game, or the start of the round here when it comes to UCC. I'm just gonna hold it. There's my auto dodge, boom. And we go right into baby girl S-Anby. I go into Anby, or not Anby. You know what I meant to say. Get another dodge in right there at the end of it. Good stuff, good stuff. And we pretty much just run the same game plan that we did before. Now with UCC, I definitely need to pay attention to, whoa, I told you guys, I can't talk and play at the same time. I'm not the best at it. Did he just punch me with a? I'm not letting that slide. We're not gonna have that. All right. I got to give you guys the best performance possible once again. So I gotta beat it. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. Okay, so I'll make a guide eventually on what to do with Deadly Assault. It does look like these are going to expire in about 15 hours or so from the time I'm making this video, but going over everything right now, UCC, which is the big red robot, has a pretty interesting mechanic. It's actually really easy to fight too. Give or take, you're paying attention to what you're doing. UCC has a couple different moves and a lot of evasive maneuvers, if you will, in order to either bully you into a corner. That's why you're fighting in a box, or he has the ability to get out of the way. You see that he can jump super high in the air, which makes you miss some things. That means you want to time things like you don't want to use your ult or skill. You don't want to waste it because he'll get out of the way. He also has a move that just jumps him back, or he leaves back 50,000 feet while shooting rockets. Which I think is a cool thing to do, but it can mess you up, especially if you're playing characters like Ellen. I don't know why you play Ellen against this thing, but you guys are just getting this as an example. Playing a character like Ellen, when you would use your Shark Nami attack or her Shark Slash or EX skill, and then he just jumps out of the way. And, you know, it's essentially a super backdash, if you will. You're fighting Jack from Tekken at this point. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Because when you're playing this team, in particular, S-Anby, Trigger, and Astra, there are little ways you can sneak in more damage or evasive maneuvers or defensive options so that you get the most bang for your buck. By no means am I the best at this. I'm going to repeat this a couple different times in this video, but going over what you guys can see throughout the gameplay, and there's tons of times where I restart, make mistakes, and do whatever it is that I'm trying to do. But ideally, you're looking for a particular setup. You want to be able to set up your Astra so everyone's good to go. You want to be able to set up your Trigger so that she has enough meter or energy in order to dish out her stuns. But the team works in tandem with one another. And a lot of the times what I found myself doing was using Trigger in order to set up some bar, not all the way, right? One of the cool things about Trigger is that that blue bar, I forget the name of it, it doesn't run out fast at all. In fact, it sits there for a really long time. I mean, most fights, you could fill that bar up once and it's good to go for the rest of the fight. However, Trigger also has something that's really cool and super useful. Glad they put it in her kit. She has an auto dodge. Whenever she goes into her sniper stance, she will automatically dodge one attack. A lot of the times when you're fighting these bigger bosses or mobs, you're actually able to go into Trigger, immediately go into sniper stance, and then immediately dodge. It's a really good way of avoiding a big giga hit or a move that you might not have been able to prepare yourself for or get the parry in time, and your Trigger's already out there, right? Maybe you've burned your dashes, who knows? There are lots of different reasons as to why you would want to do stuff like that. One of the other things when it comes to fighting the UCC, or in particular using this team, is you absolutely want to find yourself learning how to do, I don't really know what it's being called right now, but I'm going to call it hold tech for now, or like the whatever. I'll explain it and you can come up with whatever name you want. Basically, the way S-Anby's EX skill works whenever she's striking on the white thunder marks is that it's going to trigger a stun, right? The daze, it's going to trigger your chain attack, which you don't want to start that, right? Because what two things happen from you doing that? Let's say you have full white thunder, you go for an EX skill and it triggers daze. Okay, well now you're losing damage potential from the manual daze or the manual chain attack tech, and then you're also losing the damage from what would have happened with white thunder, because the way the game works, despite how it reads in her kit, it has to be consecutively, meaning that you can't do one chain attack, come back in, do two more, and then get white thunder. It all has to be in the same way. The whole technique is basically pressing skill and holding it long enough so that you don't trigger chain attack, but letting go early enough so that you don't trigger a full EX skill, which is essentially going to waste energy, going to waste white thunder, and it's going to waste a potential a large amount of damage. The other way to do it is to basically hold two buttons at one time. So you would hold EX skill and hold basic attack and kind of slide your finger across to do it. You let go of one so you don't start the basic attack hit, and then you go right back into the EX skill. I'm not the best at doing this by any means, and I haven't practiced this enough to be able to show it to you guys in this video. I just know it exists and I know how to do it. Quite frankly, I hate it. I hate that I can't activate white thunders inconsecutively, but it is what it is. These are just little things that you're gonna have to learn or want to learn when you're playing this team, because this team is mega aggressive. You are always on the offense. There is not a single point in time when you're playing this team that there should not be a bunch of thunder or electricity zipping around the screen. Trigger is constantly attacking. She has 50 different ways to get into her aftershock techniques, which is basically going to be, you know, the dashes that she's doing off the field. Basic attacks, you're going to trigger, pun intended. EX skill, you're going to trigger it. Regular skill, you're going to trigger it. Ultimate, you're going to trigger it. Chain attacks, you're going to trigger it. Anytime you see that big ass fire across the screen, get ready for Trigger to come out and go choo 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 choo, and it's awesome. I really do love it. Astra gets to sit in the background for free and just sing her heart out. It's wonderful. But there are some times, you'll see me do it in the video too, or in these clips, where it's like, dang, you kind of want to figure out who to trigger chain attack with and who is going to be more beneficial for. A lot of the times with Anby, right, even though her chain attack can be pretty strong, it doesn't really matter per se, unless you're ready to set it up. Another time is whenever you're doing chain attack, that could help you get that final bit of white thunder that you're looking for. Or maybe you need 2 chain attacks, right? Because one chain attack gives you half a point, and then another chain attack is going to give you a full point. So finding different ways to get both chain attacks to happen with Anby, so that you come in the gate or you come on the field immediately with a full stack of white thunder, and you can just, as soon as she touches the field, EX skill, EX skill, EX skill, hold it, EX skill, EX skill, EX skill, ult, and this is going to be able to give you 9 to 12 different dashes depending on your Anby, whether or not you have M1, M2, things like that, or whether or not you have a full stick of butter. Full stick of butter is something I got from fighting games, by the way. It literally just means maximum energy. Like we call, I don't know why, and I'm not gonna hold you, I don't know why they do that. I don't know who started calling energy butter. I don't know who made it that, but it's funny. We love it. So I just say it, a full stick of butter. The last little bit when it comes to UCC, before you guys kind of dig into it on your own and fight this character, is if in the event you don't have the red marks, right, for whatever reason, maybe he's getting put inside a tower and you're fighting this character, the one thing you can look out for, because he only has one parryable move, and if you miss it, you cannot parry until he starts it again. The particular move you're looking out for is, and it usually happens every single time it's choreographed, if he does rocket, so jump back rocket, the very next attack he does where he's going to slam his fist on you is going to be the parry move. Once you see that, go ahead and parry it, and then wait, parry the second hit, wait, and then parry the third hit. It's damn near going to give you an instant daze. If not, it's going to build up to about 70 to 80%. And then he's going to sit there for a little bit. You take advantage of that and you get your stun that way. This is the fastest way to stun this guy. You can get 4 to 5 stuns per deadly assault run if you do it this way, because of the way it's choreographed. And if you play a faster stun character, you can sneak in 6 to 8 different stuns depending on what you got going on. UCC isn't hard. He's just it takes some practice, but he's probably one of the easier deadly assault bosses, I would say, to learn from, given you have a little bit of patience. Oh, and that's probably the final thing that I want to mention about this team, right, is that you should just be patient. I don't know how I'm going to break this up in the video to be honest, but being patient with this team is really important. You don't have to rush. Like it is what it is. It's totally fine to just wait, dodge, basic attack 1 2 3, wait, dodge, right? Like, because you get more reward for doing that than you do for getting hit. So I can show off the team, or rather we already did that, but I want to just kind of like give final concluding thoughts on this. I think everybody works together as intended. I like that Astra, even though I'm not the biggest fan of like the ether combo core, which is Astra and Nicole, and I'm even less of a fan of Astra because I feel like she breaks the game. I think in situations like this or in teams like this is exactly where she belongs, outside of Evelyn, obviously. But going into something like this, I feel like Astra really does provide a decent and strong benefit to a character like S-Anby as well as Trigger. Why? Because both of these characters benefit in their own way from having quick assist or being able to get in and out of the field whenever they need to do so. In Anby's case, especially after the recent changes or fixes they made to her kit, she's able to essentially get in and get out when she needs to with her quick dodges or her dodge counters that she has access to, therefore helping build up her meter. Now, one of the cool things about it that I was trying to abuse with this particular team, but having to relearn something without a stun character, rather a traditional support, so in this case not Astra, makes it a little bit more difficult for me, because what I'm trying to do is essentially get off Anby's dodge counter, which would give her the meter, the damage, and the dodge, as well as the parry. And so in some of those situations, especially fighting against UCC, where he automatically nullifies your follow-up attack. So whenever you're going to do a defensive assist, you have a follow-up attack after that. He nullifies it. That's what that glitchy gray screen is. If you guys don't know what that is, or you might be new, anytime you see that, it means that you can't get a follow-up attack from the defensive assist. So you need to be prepared for that. And this is how some of the enemies in the game can mess you up. When it comes to trying to do what I'm doing, which is essentially getting the it's called a DP assist, by the way. So you get the dodge and you get the parry, and then whatever. Azrael came up with it, or rather came up with the name. And I'm pretty positive Azrael also discovered it, but I could be wrong on that. Despite the fact, that's what I'm trying to do, is the DP assist with Trigger. Therefore, being able to stay on the offense while also being on the defense. And I think that's a really strong benefit to teams like this. I think Trigger overall is helping provide that, not only to just S-Anby, but a lot of different DPS characters in the game right now. Her ability to sit on the field, or rather off the field, if you will, but still be present on the field is crazy good. I knew we were going to get a character like this in the future. We saw this with Astra being able to be off the field the entire time, but benefit her team. And now we're seeing a character like Trigger, who is also off the field, but still benefits her entire team, except it's a little bit easier to pilot with Trigger than it is with Astra, because you don't have to skip around the character selection in order to get where you're trying to go. So now that we finally have like the complete S-Anby team, I could easily say this is one of the stronger teams in the game. Is it one of the strongest teams in the game? I'm not entirely too sure. I can't say no and I can't say yeah. The only reason that's confusing in that sense is, one, I didn't do the calcs, and two, Anomaly is still Anomaly. Anomaly is pretty cracked, and Anomaly gets all the benefits of a standard or attack type DPS without caring about it. And so yeah, Trigger brings a lot of that stuff to the table. But if I'm looking at this from a maybe like a clear speed time of thing, or efficiency in the team, the consistency of how the team performs, it's very consistent overall. It allows you to play exactly what S-Anby wants, which is I want to be the only one on the field, or predominantly on the field. But does this compare to a team like Miyabi and Bernice with Seth in the middle, or Miyabi, Seth, Yanagi, or Miyabi, whatever you want to put in the middle, and Yanagi, Bernice, Miyabi, Astra, Bernice, whatever? The point that I'm getting at is that when Miyabi, a character that has freezes, and it's not just Miyabi, I can include Evelyn in this too, or I can include Evelyn in this too with the chain attacks. But when you include characters that have these particular designs in their kit that allow them to abuse the game's mechanics innately, and then they have stuff on top of that, it makes it really hard for me to decide, or maybe to kind of like dictate this team is stronger than this team without that team having those. Yeah, Astra has the ability to pass off quick assist and add chain attacks outside of stun left and right, but Anby nor Trigger benefit the most from getting those. This is why the Astra, Evelyn, and Lighter team, in my opinion, is second or third strongest right now in the game, because everyone on that team benefits in some way, shape, or form from everyone on the team. Everyone works together. In the Anby Trigger core, they work together flawlessly. These two are made for each other. It's awesome. I love it. But they're not really abusing anything that's already in the game. In fact, they're adding their own mechanic, which is Aftershock. And right now, Aftershock is a little bit on the weaker side in comparison to some of the other stuff that we already have, right? Disorder, burns, the freeze, being able to freeze, stun, freeze like 2 or 3 times in between the stun, depending on what you're doing, pop 2 or 3 disorders, depending on what you're doing and your combos, right? Like when you take your gameplay to the next level and you optimize the crap out of your runs, your combos, your rotations, your teams, the gear set, that's a whole different video we'll talk about. But when you optimize the crap out of stuff like that, you'll notice very quickly there are things that certain characters or team combinations can do in the game that everyone else does not have access to. This is why I constantly talk about how Anomaly, in Miyabi's case specifically, but mostly Anomaly overall, why they're on top, why they do what they do, or why they're allowed to do what they do. S-Anby doesn't have that. She's getting there. Maybe in the future we'll get something that's going to put her on that same caliber. And by no means is this me I'm not saying like, oh man, Anby sucks. No, this team is cracked. I just think we have some insanely cracked things above this team, right? But off the top of my head, top 5, easy. I would have to go down the list and figure out what, like, you know, 2, 3, and 4 are or whatever, but it is what it is. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that. I know I had some mishaps in this, right? I'm not the perfect player. I make that very known all the time, but I'm here to have fun while looking cool doing it, or sometimes just being silly, because that UCC fight was silly. Anyway, I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Like the video, comment, subscribe. Smell you later.